Good evening. Welcome in to the first
Hello.
show, A Day's Vacation Oasis.
Mm-hmm. Hi, guys.
You can see we got different Oasis. Mike,
Yep.
Yeah.
apparently he's relaxing somewhere in the black hole. So he
No.
must be
No.
with the Adams family or something.
I'm in
Oh,
Disney.
boy.
No.
Richard's on some island, so
Caribbean.
he must
If
fly
I
back
was
to Hawaii, and I'm
left-
sitting on a cruise line. So, just kidding.
I would
Right.
be in Disney World right now if I could.
Oh boy.
Believe me, I would be.
We would. But
I would.
tonight, welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Hopefully, we'll get some more people to join us here.
Yep.
Everybody knows the schedule, so and I know I put the word out earlier over the weekend, so
Right.
hopefully we'll see some of the other mods coming in. Guys, I think we were just gonna. I thought we'd just keep it
Sure.
an easy
Hey,
topic
Debbie, good
tonight.
to see you.
Oh,
Hey,
there's our good friend Debbie Burnfeld.
There's Debbie. Yes.
Hello.
Uh-oh, you
are
two
you?
better behave yourselves now because Mama D's here. She'll keep you two straight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Definitely keep you two straight.
I think she'll want us to go off with a rail feud more times than normal.
You're right about that one.
Well, she
Totally.
will, especially when she does the meetup in August and probably has some more of her moonshine, but that's a whole different
Hello, Paul
story.
Engel.
Paul Engel.
Hello,
Welcome
Paul Engel. How
in.
are you? Hello. Welcome in.
Anyways, but welcome in, guys.
Hello, everyone.
But I thought we'd I thought we'd just do an easy topic tonight and talk about what
Sure.
is a vacation.
Sure.
Okay.
What's a vacation, huh?
What you want it to be.
How would you define?
That's what a vacation is.
Go somewhere. Go somewhere and enjoy that place.
What
Yeah, you wanna-
kind of vacation do you like to have is a better question, probably.
Easy.
Well, and it's
Someplace
not just
fun and
it's
enjoyable.
actually. Let me give you my total thought of it, and
Sure.
here's a bottom line that as a travel agent you would think of. It's a mixture of the two.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
not about where you're just traveling, but
Mhm.
what kind of comes down to the vacation of how much of a vacation is relaxing, stress to
Yeah.
where you want to go. Because
Yeah.
you got to remember there's several different types of vacation. You got
Yes.
adventures, you
Yep.
got cruising, you
Yep.
got luxury, you got
Mhm.
exotic, you got theme parks.
Right.
Theme parks.
So,
Yeah.
which could fall under the adventures, but one way or
Right.
another, you're talking about a vacation is
Mhm.
what brings you the most joy and relaxing in traveling.
Yeah.
And so it's not about where or what you do. It is, and it's based on, and this is what I love about the travel industry,
Mhm.
because you got so much wide variety of what people love when they travel.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it makes it exciting, especially when you can see it. Well, I mean, you could see it in Richard. You see it in your videos.
Yeah.
They're awesome. The ones that I have
Mhm.
seen. I still got some more. I've got to go back and watch.
I'm working on some more of them too.
On your Alani, but see, that's what I'm talking about. You love to travel to the islands.
Yeah.
Which I want to do. Like I said, that's my plan for next year. My plan for next year is actually to go to Hawaii with my older
Nice.
and younger sister, the three of us.
You know,
Oh.
Debbie,
Yeah,
those are really good too.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. Debbie,
Those
here's
are
the
fun.
thing.
Vacations. Yeah.
Yep.
That you can actually stay at home and do day trips
Oh yeah.
and
I've done
just be as
Yeah.
I've done them.
that is true. Now,
Yeah.
it just depends on what kind of person you are.
Yep.
I mean, if you're the type of person that you really don't be like around people,
Mhm.
Yeah.
then the steak vacation is definitely the type.
Oh,
but I know
absolutely.
Richard, Richard, I mean, you're like me. We don't mind being around a lot of people. We
I
love
don't care to you, but yeah.
to explore. Mike, you mostly like going to Disney World, so which means you're.
I also love going into the New York City as well.
Yeah, he
That's
does.
not my only place. Not only Disney, I also love DC.
There
you
is,
know.
but that's kind
Don't
of.
get
That's
me wrong.
going
I will get Mike onto the Disney Cruise Line.
Yes, and I cannot wait to go and buy things.
I still
I
want to
know.
get him
Believe
in.
me,
I
I have
want
a
to get.
long list.
I want to see him like that ranger on the Woody Wood cartoon in a barrel going over the Niagara Falls and we're standing on that stairway going, yeah!
Dave,
trust
if I take him onto a cruise, would you also allow me to go camping with him out in the open with no camper, just a tent?
Buy me a Motel 6.
I want to see
and
that
I'm
one.
good.
I want to
I
see
am
that one.
not kidding you.
In the middle of nowhere, there's no
Thank you.
city lights.
Just take him.
I
Take
need
him to
listen,
it has to be
need
right by a lake.
bathroom.
It has
And
to
I
be
want
right
to
by
go
a
to
lake.
Yosemite Valley National Park.
Oh, it could, yeah.
I'm sorry, but I need two things. Well,
He likes his
three
luxury.
things. One,
He wants.
okay,
He
likes his luxury.
A bathroom,
here's my
and most
thing.
importantly, Starbucks. I'm
People
sorry.
gotta understand this.
Function.
I'm not against the glamour. I'm not against the glamour camping.
Hey Dave, I'll bring a generator. I'll bring a generator that is hooked up to my Keurig.
Well, now here's my thing. I will say this.
I can manage that.
See if you agree with me on Richard, because you have done tent camping.
Yes.
To me, glamour camping is not really camping.
No,
To
it's
me,
not.
A tent camping is you catch your fish, you cook it on an open fire.
No, thank you.
You
Next.
sleep in tents.
Make me
That
a
is
diner and I'm good.
That is camping.
Now, if we're going to do this, Mike, I would also.
Lately, Paul, you seem to.
You need to take me to the nearest Starbucks.
By the way, if we do go camping, I would teach Mike how to pop up a tent, the old style.
Oh God, this is going to be a disaster, and I'm not kidding. This is going to be a disaster.
I know how to do it. I was in.
Exactly. But I
was in Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, all that.
Yeah.
So basically,
Eagle Scouts.
Starbucks. I would get like 20 drinks and have them on standby. I'm not kidding.
Sorry, you can't have Starbucks. That stuff would ruin. That would ruin the campground. Not allowed.
What he packs in, he has to pack out. If he packs in, he has to pack it out. So if he wants to pack in a whole liter of Starbucks,
I can drink them like nothing.
Go right on ahead. You have to pack it in yourself, though. Think how heavy that is.
You go in with them, you come out with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fine. And I also save the cups too.
But
for other
Dave,
things.
That's not very much true anymore.
Wonderful.
A lot of people are, when they drink coffee or drink a drink, usually it's biodegradable cups. So who cares if they're left on the ground?
Well,
it still ruins the habitat.
It does, but not as much.
It still ruins the habitat because the creatures are aware that people are there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what I want to say.
Listen, I am a natural animal lover. I mean, even I'm not stupid enough to mess with.
I'm an animal person to
I don't. Here's my
problem. Oh no, you're not, Mike. Just I'll say one word.
Birds, okay? Thank you very much.
I'll say one word. Bird.
Yes, exactly. Which way to the nearest Motel 6? I'm not kidding.
Glamour camping. That's that.
It's called glamping, and I absolutely love it.
Definitely out camping. They need to go camping in a tent. I think they said they wanted to do that too.
If we were to do this, Richard, we would definitely need to stream this.
Oh yes, it would be fun to stream.
I would want to. I will come camping. I will come camping just to film it.
You know what, Mike? I would bring my dad, and he knows how to hunt.
Oh my God! No, thank you. I'll pass this.
And fish.
Diner.
He would be the fish and hunting specialist.
I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. I will go to the nearest diner.
You would get to catch your own dinner. So I'm not cooking for you.
No,
guess what?
Thank you.
You get to cook yourself.
I will bring stuff. Trust me, I can manage. I can manage stuff. Just give me a microwave.
Oh well,
No. Can't, no,
you don't get a microwave. Wait, Dave.
None of this
I'll stop you right there.
None
But
of this
Dave,
glamour
I know
stuff.
if he can pack in himself a generator and a microwave, you can do that.
See,
Now, here's the thing. Think how heavy a generator and a microwave would be.
yeah, I know.
You're looking at about 300 pounds. About 300, I think.
It's
roughly.
Just give me an RV and I'm good. Okay? Just give me an RV. You got a bathroom.
There's no roads up there. There's no roads.
You have a bathroom.
Only
running water. Here's the other thing you got to think about too. Here's the other thing you got to think about it too.
I'm not kidding.
When he tracks in a generator, he's going to have to track in gas because he can't plug it in for electricity. He's got.
No, you can't. But there is fully.
Have to bring gas with him.
And I've seen, Dave. There's fully electric generators out there. They cost a lot, but they are out there.
Well, you'd have to make it fully charged, but most of them are. A lot of them are.
I'll say this: just take me to the nearest hotel.
I don't know, Dave. That could go really wrong up here. We have Motel 6s that are really bad.
Let me tell you.
I'm talking. There's no door in the front.
I get the point. Just put me in a Holiday Inn and I'm good. Just put me in a Holiday Inn and I'm good, okay? And I love Holiday Inn.
You know what?
And Marriott and every other.
Enough of joshing around with Mike. That was fun enough.
Wait a minute, Richard. We can stay at Fort Wilderness now.
Oh gosh.
Hey, Mike. Let me give you another tip too.
What?
I've had family that have stayed at some of the last hotel you mentioned. Those aren't getting any much better. Those are going downhill.
Oh, I know.
Compared to some of the new ones,
they're not as bad as Motel 6, but
still, Marriott's not bad.
Even that one is going downhill.
I know. All of them are going downhill except for the more expensive ones.
Except for the ones like Courtyard.
Courtyard's not going down. Marriott, Hyatt.
Some of them are not going down. Some of them are staying. Some of them are staying to be cleanliness. I'm talking about cleanliness and all that.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, that one you just mentioned. I know the one in Lake City. My sister never again will they stay at it because it was a disaster.
You know what I would love to do is I would love to stay at the Marriott Marquis in New York.
Well,
now that's a staycation for me.
Well, hey, I'll tell you what. Hey, Mike, for you, we'll go halfway. We'll get a log cabin.
Fine. That I can handle.
I have stayed at the Marriott Marquis.
On with the 44th Street.
Yes.
In New York.
For about 2 days. But yes.
Loved it.
I would probably do it again, but you know what? I am a Marriott member. That thing costs so many points to get into.
Well,
it's only a reservation only. It took us 4 months just to try to get on the list.
Right, because everybody stays there.
Yes.
And it's right outside of Times Square.
And if you just go camping,
it's the most expensive
food. Bring your own.
It's the most expensive Marriott in the U.S.
The most expensive.
It's the most expensive Marriott in the U.S.
So there you go. See, this is what I'm talking about.
In New York.
Getting back to the topic about
a log cabin I can dip.
I love log cabins.
I know we were having fun with Mike and all that, but that goes to show you right there how different people's vacationing is and what they like. I mean, I'm obviously. Honestly, I do like my thrill stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And let's take a look at the cruise lines.
Sure.
Now, if you like to, if you're, and again,
now also, Dave,
another
thing you have to consider is do you have to have the kids with you when you're going on the so-called
vacations? Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Well,
and if so, how do they act?
That's all part of the planning of what a vacation is. It depends on what kind of vacation. Are you going on a family vacation?
You know what?
Exactly.
Like a honeymoon or an anniversary trip?
Yep.
Are you going on an exotic trip? I mean,
now, would you want the kids being
a couple
taken care of?
adults that just want to do a river
Now,
cruise.
let's talk about the
get
cruises
away.
for a few seconds.
Yeah.
Do you want the kids being taken care of, which would mean the 4 big ones basically are the only ones that do that?
Yes.
Well, here's the problem with river
Yes,
cruises.
there's some of them, the others that do, but they're
Right.
not very good at keeping control of the kids.
Thank you.
And that's the reason why I was about to say most of your river cruises.
Yeah, river,
not,
no.
Even
I'm
even
just
the ones
talking
on the
cruise.
even the ones on the Mississippi, most of them do not allow kids on. You have to be.
What I like.
18.
I'm sorry,
You have
but
to
I
be-
like that. I'm sorry.
I think
Yeah.
you have to be at least 18 or older to
Thank
be on
you.
river cruise.
Talking about that, Dave, there's a few cruise lines that have that speculation also. I
Really?
believe Verizon,
Virgin-
if I remember
Virgin
correctly.
is
Really? Which
one of the big
ones?
ones that can
Okay.
take
Yeah,
place
Verizon has 18 and older cruises.
because it's an only adult cruise thing.
Yep.
It's not meant
But-
for families. Now, have they
Don't
had
get
families
me
on there?
wrong. There's
I
you
have
have to.
heard that families that come on there, but mainly it's adults and
It's adults,
Adults
yeah,
only.
because
Yeah.
right.
yeah, because for
So-
me, I can only take kids or whatever so much, and then I'm like, nope.
Well,
So, in other words, he wants us.
what
he
kind of
wants-
kids do you like to
Mike
have?
wants us to drop him in the middle
Let's put it this way.
of the biggest kiddie
Let's put
land.
it this way. I can put up with them for like a certain amount of time, and then I'm like, get them away from me. Period. I'm sorry. I am not a
All
person.
bad. You know what?
I
You
never
have
have been.
I love to be a
You
kid
cannot-
person. You know what? But that's why I love Disney, because they at least take care of the kids.
Exactly. That's why I want to go on DCL so much.
Yeah, DCL.
Because,
Well,
They
yeah,
are
but a
the
lot
big
of them-
one.
You know what? Okay.
you know what I mean?
Outside of
And I know
Virgin-
DCL.
For
Outside
kids.
of Virgin,
Woo.
outside of Virgin Cruise Lines, most
Yeah.
of your cruise lines have things for the kids
Yes.
that
Yes.
go well into the night.
Yes.
I'm
Because
glad.
they know the adults want time. That again, it goes back to why are you going on the cruise? Are you going as a family?
Yeah.
Right.
Are you wanting to spend time? You may not be worrying about as much. I mean, one time you may go on a cruise and you may have the family, but
Yeah.
you may
Right.
send the kids off to do their own thing
Mhm.
while the adults otherwise, or you may go on a cruise and just spend the entire time as a family. You know, so I
Yes.
mean,
Yeah.
it just depends on what
Right.
exactly your vacation itinerary and what your feeling is overall on what your vacation.
See,
Which
for
Or
me,
what you like to do with your
Right.
kids, because some of them
That's
like
true.
to have the kids away,
absolutely.
but some families like to try to have it so the kids will get to learn every instance that they can.
Exactly. And Disney is the perfect place to do it.
Disney does both
It
because
really
they
is.
teach them while they're there, but
Right.
some
Exactly.
adults like to be protective. Put it that way.
Believe me, I know that all too well. Trust me.
It's fine.
It is. It is.
If that's your
It is.
style, then that's your style.
Right.
Yes.
Like, see, me, I am more of the okay with the I know the kids have to eat, you know, with the parents at night. I can handle that. But any other time, I would be in the adult areas only for like a good chunk, and then be the first in line with that to get the characters right away.
Guess what? Kids don't have to eat with the parents if they're at
Oh,
dinner time
really?
with Disney.
Oh, really?
They can send
When
the
did
food.
that start?
That started not that long ago, really.
Really?
well,
Yeah.
here
So they
I
can
think
send
there's
them to
Dave can verify, but I think it's an age speculation thing.
Really?
If they're a little older,
And-
they're
and-
allowed to eat at the place where they take care of them.
So basically, what they would do is they would basically take their meals
And the food down.
down Kids Club.
Yeah.
What a great idea! I like
Why
that.
not?
I'm
now,
in.
again, but you guys, you're an exception, Mike. Most
Yeah.
adults, most of the adults, when they're planning a vacation like that,
Right.
they know way far ahead of time
I
on what they
understand.
plan
that,
on
and
doing with the kids. I mean,
Yes.
that's again. If
But
for instance,
You know what?
let's
You know
say-
what? That's why I love Disney, though, because also Disney,
this is
if you give them like a time schedule of this is the hour or this is the few hours that we're going to take our kids out of it. Right. They notify you like 30 minutes before, reminding you that you are going to try to do this to make sure that you still want them out, and then they will send them out at that time.
And but see, not everything's about Disney.
Yes,
I hate to say it.
True.
Not everything's not about Disney.
Everything is not about
Disney. But I can tell you now, because I've got, for me, it's not always about Disney. For me, I know I've got a niece that I would love to, and if she got down here, we would love. She would love to scuba dive, and there ain't no way I'm going on a Disney cruise. I can find plenty of things and ways to go diving.
Right.
And so it just depends on what you're doing. For me, like if I wanted to do a river cruise, one of the biggest things I would want to do would be go venture out and learn about histories of different places.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether it's down in Mississippi or the Danube River in Europe.
Yeah.
On the river cruises.
You're right.
Now, for me, that would be, and here's the thing. You can take the family and the kids can have just as much fun on those things and experience.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean,
so it just depends. Again, it goes back to are you an adventurous family?
Yeah. Or do you adventurous
or are you wanting a thrill type of vacation?
Yeah.
Are you wanting a learning type of vacation? Which learning would be like we're doing with taking them to the yellow.
I love what you're saying, Richard. Honestly, I'm loving this. Mm-hmm. Like
I understand. I have a cousin that is very well mannered, and they are there more on the lines of they like teaching him about different cultures. So he's been around the world a few times, really right now.
See? There you go. So they're like a cultural. That's another type of vacation, a cultural learning history.
They take them to Japan and different places around the world, and then they teach them about the different historical places about it, cultural. Yeah.
It's interesting because
now the good thing about it is,
like I said, it all matters on how the kid
is.
And here's the thing. Here's the good thing about this. Now this is going back to Disney. This is why there are two groups that actually do that the best. The National Geographic.
Yep.
Because they do the cruises and all that with families and you can experience. And especially when you're going to like Antarctica or Alaska or the Galapagos Islands. Or you got Adventures by Disney that does some of that. Even off of the, even if you go on a cruise and then you do some of the Disney adventures before the cruise or after the cruise, that's adding on to the magic of what Disney brings. But it's that learning again. You're learning about the cultural wherever you're at.
Yep.
Speaking of that, Dave. Now, when I go down to DC, speaking of DC, anyway, okay, I have learned so much in DC about the country. It's just so cool to me. I mean. When I go into the American History Museum every time, I usually learn one new thing every time I go in there.
Okay.
And I absolutely love going there because I've done the memorials. I've done the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
And I have also done the Ford Theater. Now, mind you, that was an amazing experience. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Because I learned where Ulysses S. Grant was the night that happened. And I know exactly where it is that he was.
And then some kids would love that kind of history.
Absolutely.
So there is also different places you could go that have cruises.
DC's got tons of places.
DC,
New York,
and then the other big one, New York.
Yes, because you have
the city of museums.
And also the city that never sleeps.
Yes, but the city of museums is what counts.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
I swear there is over just in Manhattan itself. Just in Manhattan itself, there's over 30 or 32 different museums that you can go to.
And I will tell you this.
They even have a museum dedicated to Broadway.
Yes.
Amazing. I don't know yet, but I want to go.
Here's my thing. And you guys, I know I'm going to get booed for this.
Oh, God.
I will get booed for this. And it's nothing here's my problem.
Be careful what you say, Dave.
Careful.
No, I'm not going to say nothing bad.
Okay.
My problem is those cities are such in political climate things that you got so much.
I lived there when it wasn't political
about anything. I'm just saying.
Here's my thing.
And here's the thing. Here's another thing you have.
You won't notice the difference. I'm sorry.
Here's and it's not so much this. I am going to tell you this. Here's the big thing you have to think about when you're traveling to those places. How much are you willing to pay publicly for traveling expenses? Because those places, first of all, they're expensive right off the bat.
Well, most of DC is free.
Okay. Yes, they can be. But just like any other city, we can push a little plug for the museum outlook projects for different cities.
And now remember this too. And you have to be aware of this. Now I'm talking more of a stress thing. Be aware of that. You got to think about what type of vacation you want. If you're trying to get away from the stress, then I'm going to tell you, Washington. And I know you're gonna knock me probably for Mike. But if you're trying to get away from if you're trying to go on a relaxing, a stressless vacation, New York and Washington D.C. is not the places to go.
No, they're not really.
Because of the amount of public.
I agree to a point.
And I'm just thinking about how many visitors they get in both cities.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, if you just remember correctly, but they both have a very legitimate transit system that goes in and out.
Yes.
So, if you stay at some place that's more relaxing, that's on the transit line.
Bingo. And also, too, you have to drive.
You can go on the transit line to that city.
Whereas in New York, all you need to do is either take the bus or the subway, or better yet,
that depends on what kind of relaxation you want. If you don't,
that's very true. But there is, Dave. There's all-inclusive
stuff
on Long Island. There is all-inclusive resorts.
Yes.
So,
and you need to drive.
That is what you would have to look towards if you're going towards New York.
Drive to get there, and also too. Out there on Long Island, it takes at least 2 hours via the train.
Here's my thing.
It's a very slow train.
And that's not including delays either.
Here's what I'm talking about is traveling. If you are looking, but here's my problem. You still have to deal with the public and the amount of people with all that.
Yeah.
If I'm going on a vacation to get away from the stress and the mentality, I'm not looking to go to New York. Now, if I'm looking, hold on, let me finish.
Can I seriously say something on this? Okay,
hold on, let me finish mine.
Go ahead.
What I'm trying to say is that if I'm looking to mentally refresh, those are not the places to go. Now, if I'm looking to explore, like the museums and the theaters, then yes, I would highly recommend New York. That's all I'm saying.
That is what I will say is what you could do is 2 different vacations at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm saying stay 3 days at New York. Experience the adrenaline, okay? Experience everyone ignoring what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
But they ignore everything.
Oh, yes. Believe me, they
do.
They
don't care if you're there or not.
They don't. They are like out of my way.
That's the adrenaline part, and that's going through museums, getting all that figured out.
Right.
Walking a little bit through the Central Park. It's beautiful.
It is. It's amazing.
It is.
Another good point to that one, Dave, is just if you plan it correctly, you can have a cruise that heads out of New York.
Yes, and goes around the harbor.
That would be the relax.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right afterwards.
Exactly.
Well, again, it depends on what you're. But then, see, you're more.
Yeah, that's like
more focused on visiting and all that. And can it be relaxing and stressful mental? To a point. But you still have to fight traffic. You still have to,
you always will.
But now, see, where me, I would like. Now here we're going back to now. If you're talking mentally stressed, I'm going back to places that we've been to, Gatlinburg.
Gatlinburg.
Traffic, and let me tell you this:
early
summer and spring, it's traffic. But
it's traffic.
You get into the woods and you get up through there. Mental gone. Yes. Am I dealing with the heavy traffic going through there between Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg? Once I get into Gatlinburg, you know for a fact that when you get into Gatlinburg, especially during the spring and summertime, it is nuts.
It is nuts. And it has one of the largest Christmas stores in the world.
Correct.
That's what I've heard.
Not the largest. The largest one is actually in Michigan.
Dave.
The one.
For me, a lot of times just going to the Jersey Shore is enough for me. The Jersey Shore is, yes, the beach and the boardwalk and everything else, but I love going there because you get to see the ocean, go in be in the sand, sun, boardwalk, and all that stuff. Yeah,
Let me ask you this, Mike. Does it relax you mentally? Does it take you mentally stress?
Believe it or not, New York City does that. Believe it or not.
You're one in it. Well, you're one of the few people that do.
Yeah.
Because when I go into the city, for most vacationers, I will tell you this. Mm-hmm. For most people that have grew up in the city, that would be more stressful. Unless, now it depends on the type of vacation they're wanting. If they're looking to do the arts and the theaters and the museums,
absolutely,
then that wouldn't be a stress for them. But if they're trying to think about, the amount of people that they're going to have to deal with, then they're going to look at an adventure type of maybe going skiing in the Himalayas or going into walking through the Yosemite Valley National Park or going to the Grand Canyon. Is there a lot of people? Yes, there's a lot of people, especially during the summer months. No matter where you go, wherever you're traveling, you're going to run into it.
Absolutely.
But it comes down to what type of travel you actually want. As to, you may, and you can. Now, if you know for a fact that you're wanting that experience of museums, theaters, and that, then yes, that is going to be a mentally. You're gonna find that mental and stress relaxation.
But sometimes too, Dave,
it just depends on what kind of vacation you want.
Good Disney, the trip for me, when I go underneath that sign, it's like, I'm here.
But that's not true for everybody. Unfortunately, as a travel agent, I will tell you that's not true for everybody.
It's not true for everyone, but
because you can have to remember and plan.
You have to know in your head where the places are that make you have that release, even if it is a busy place.
Actually, believe it or not,
you got to
New York and Disney World.
New York, it's easy to find it. It's right smack in the center of Manhattan.
It is.
It's right there. It's called Central Park.
Yes.
And there is like 4 to 5 different districts you can explore in that area.
Actually, you can go from 59th Street all the way up to the end of it. And
I've walked the whole thing, but still.
Right.
Well, and again, it goes back to what I was saying that depends on what type of vacation.
Yes.
Because if you're wanting a total relaxed meltdown thing, going to Central City Park is not the answer.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it
you
is.
get lost in there.
Not always, because if you have to fight the other things to get there.
I did. When I went with you,
I mean, that you grew up there, Mike. Okay, that's something you love to do.
Right.
Central Park was relaxing.
I'm not going to say
you're not going to get
relaxing and stressful.
You might not get as much relaxing Central Park if you go during the busy time of year.
True.
But fall, winter, spring, and summer, basically everything but 1 month.
Right.
You will have almost no people walking around. It's very, very little people, really.
Well, and again, it just depends on how much they want to deal with people. Not a lot of people.
And on that note,
it depends.
There's almost no people to deal with if you know where to go in Central Park.
You know where to go and you know where to avoid.
Yeah.
And one thing, be very careful going at night. Trust me.
Oh, I wouldn't recommend
if it's your first time, our own thing I can say is ask a local. Probably.
Bingo.
It would probably be the best answer for that one.
Absolutely.
No, ask someone that's at the museum that's right next door.
Which is the Museum of Natural History.
Yes, it is. They would know like the areas you can go to that have 0 people at them.
Yes.
Now here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you as a travel agent. Here's what I'm going to tell you. My recommendation is that type of stuff will be, yes, you can get that, but that will be for more someone that's wanting an adventure with museums.
I can see that.
Things like that. Otherwise, I'm going to recommend, if you're wanting total relaxation, I'm going to tell you, you go to Hawaii, and you know how busy that is. It can be.
Dave, all I've got to say is, what ports do most cruise lines go out of?
Honolulu.
No. Big cities.
Yeah, big cities. You're going to have to deal with
where all cruises start from. That's what I'm meaning. Well, they start all from big cities.
And I just said Hawaii was my first one, but I can also recommend. I could tell you one of the best areas that I can tell you to go through. The Blue Ridge Parkway. Driving through the mountain is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, I got a fun one for you. I-95. That's fun. Because
that's a highway, and most highways are.
Now that we got rid of the I-95 issue,
that's a bit busy most of the time.
I-90. No, I'm going to tell you now.
Go see with the Fort McHenry, you get to go see the Baltimore International Harbor.
Somewhat of a little point, but that is for like the older generation that love to go on road trips.
Yeah, who doesn't love a good road trip?
Yeah, there's a point on that point.
I love road trips.
That's a great road for a road trip.
They're fun.
I can agree with you on that part. I can say the same thing about I-75 too. And listen,
fun.
I've watched. Listen,
I wouldn't go on the highway if I was taking a road trip.
I get built from the north of Florida, Michigan, to the southern tip of.
You know what?
Florida.
If you want to talk about a fun highway,
you want to talk a road trip? There's a lot of interesting things along 75 because you've got the largest. Well, I don't think it's the largest, but one of the largest underwater caverns. Yeah. And it's not in Cedarville. I can't remember what city it is, but it's in Tennessee. But then you got the Cumberland Gaps, which was part of Daniel Boone's trail when he tracked from Virginia in through Kentucky into Tennessee.
Okay.
Now, if you're going for views, that is a great road. But I also know of another one that has great views too.
I got a good one.
66.
Well, that's it. Yep, I would recommend those. Those are some good road trips there.
The Delaware Water Gap has some great views. That's a fact.
Pikes Peak.
Now you got to remember though. You got to remember though. Route 66. Because of the main highways are probably a little bit more desolate than it would be I-10
Now, Dave, that would be for the person that does not like to be by people. Oh, you're not going to find people on that highway.
Believe me, you're not.
No, I agree with you. I honestly, and here's the thing of it. You got to remember, Route 66 was the main route from California over towards
it caters to two people. The person that loves the history, they're on Route 66.
That would be me.
That's why
I went through Arizona part.
You would find some very interesting things around that route.
You find very interesting things for one, and number two, I've seen just in Arizona itself, there was about 6 to 7 different museums, all catered to Route 66.
Well, and that's fun.
I can't remember.
So
but
fun.
You got to think about these stations that we have today that serve food and the restaurants in them.
Oh, yes.
It actually was based on one of the gas stations in one of the small towns on Route 66, which had an influence on all these gas stations.
So I would also say the people that like desolate and not that many people would this would be a great trip. But also, if you're someone that likes history, like the museum a little bit, but knowing this is how America got started. This is where people will start to do road trips. That is Route 66.
Absolutely, because believe it or not, that's what started the whole road trip thing. I believe was Route 66.
I think it was right in the heightened era of it. So what really started it, if I remember correctly, was the California coast.
Yes.
Highway, if I don't know the exact name of it.
Started in the Chicago,
California. Yeah. Yep.
Who doesn't love a good road trip? I know I do.
There's also
I mean, even
another good one is trains.
True.
Going through those mountains, the Smoky Mountain train system.
Get that Amtrak.
I'm sorry.
Well, and I would agree with you because think about it. We've talked about the Rocky Mountaineer.
Yeah.
You look at the trains that they've got the one in Colorado and
they have
Arizona.
So beautiful views.
And you've got those up in there.
You know,
the only thing is with the train thing is that I don't think people are interested as much in trains as it used to be.
It's selective. Now, I'm not saying in the middle of the state. There's one at the very west end of the state, and then there's one that goes down to California that is pretty popular.
Right.
But other than that,
it is. But it is. But you got to remember that's a small niche now. It's where trains used to be a small niche.
Very corner, like that much of it.
It's a very small niche because most people.
Well, I know one of them
they're either going to hop on a cruise or they're going to hop on a plane to get from one place to another.
Yeah.
Well, with Amtrak, I know that there's one that goes out of Chicago all the way, I believe, out to the Rocky Mountains and literally goes through it.
I think there is, but I already know there's one that Amtrak that heads from New York.
Yes.
So it probably goes from New Jersey. I know there's one a few steps before.
Yes.
And it goes all the way up to Niagara Falls.
Yes, it does.
It was. But again,
that's a big one.
You're talking a very small niche. You're talking a very small
if you're doing that one, hopefully you want to do it in fall. You'll be able to see the reds, browns, all those beautiful colors all the way down.
I agree with you. You know, and the thing about it is, here's the thing to keep in mind too. If you really want to get there, if you don't want to get there right away, but you don't want to spend, like if you had to drive from, let's say you wanted to drive from here to California on Route 66, you know that's going to take 5 to 7 days to get from from Florida. For me, from Florida to get to California to drive would take me 5 to 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want a smaller trip, and you got to remember this, you're not going to have as many passengers by train. Because people that travel by train is now become a very small niche. A very small niche.
It can be.
It's not. Even people still travel by Amtrak, but not as much because most people, you're thinking about they're going to hop on a cruise or they're going to hop on a plane.
Yeah.
But I agree, and that's why I'm saying traveling to the places you were talking about. If you're in there and you want to take a few days to get there, and Amtrak is certainly, Rocky Mountaineer, Amtrak. Those are the type of things to do where, like you said, especially in the fall where you're seeing the different colors and the vibrant of the land come to life in the fall time, or even spring,
or even spring.
When you're coming off of winter, the colors are just starting to come back.
Yep.
I would fully agree with you guys on that.
Yep. For the line of the being on a train, it would also be almost the same exact service, I would think, or same exact thing as being on a river cruise almost. It would just be traveling in a different way.
Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about the train.
Maybe a little slower.
Here's the thing about the train. Depending on where you're traveling to from and where you're traveling from and to, can be just as expensive as getting a plane ticket. Mind you, it depends on where you're going, when you're traveling. It's a lot of things, but sometimes that can be just as expensive. Keep that in mind.
I'm going to say something on that, okay? To get from where I'm at down to Florida, specifically Orlando,
where everyone wants to go to from your area. I'm sorry, but everyone wants to do it. So guess what? That's going to be the most expensive train ride.
Actually, wait a minute. I'm actually going to look.
It also here's the other thing about this too. It depends on what kind of deals. This is when you start looking for deals.
That's when you start looking for deals.
It's going to be the most expensive, but if you're paying out of pocket, it can be the most.
You're not using a travel agent, or you're not using out of pocket, then
it depends on what kind of deals you can find.
But think of it this way, Dave. Traveling via the train, you don't have to go through TSA.
No.
You can bring at least 2 suitcases.
But again, it depends on, you got to remember, it depends on the type of how fast you want to get there.
Yeah.
If you don't want to
I know it takes 2 days to get down there.
It's 2 days, but if I remember correctly, there's an option to take longer because it is the one that you're thinking of is the Express Amtrak, which is 2 days. It stops like four times, I believe.
Yeah, most Amtrak would take you.
But that all depends on whether or not I am going to go down to Virginia.
Yeah.
To take the auto train.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Dave, Mike, they are changing that, and you could maybe go on the bullet train sooner or later.
Well, that's nice. I cannot wait for that. Believe me.
Some of these new trains coming on, that could all change.
Right. They could all change.
A lot of that comes down to on how fast you want to get there, because I can probably it depending on where you're coming from, the train can be more expensive than the planes. I mean, that's why I said depending on where you're coming from and the type of deals you can find. Because I've seen it where I've talked to people where they've actually flown on a plane, rented a car, and it cost them less than it would be to go on a train that would take you 2 to 3 days from where they were coming from.
Dave. And you also have to make sure you don't have any delays, and I mean big ones.
Well,
because
Mike, Dave, that's the thing. Mike is going out of either 2 airports, and both of them are notorious for having delays.
Sorry, but now, and I agree with you. That's things you have to think about.
LaGuardia.
And those are things when you're thinking about that, those are some of the questions you have to answer when you're planning all these trips out. Yeah. I mean, because still, you're going to run the risk of taking a big one. If you want to get down there faster than the train, then obviously I'm going to plane. So I'm gonna have to be willing to put up with the risk of the flight being, I mean, that's all part of traveling, because I hate to tell you, even traveling by train, things happen on the train track.
Oh, I know that. Believe
me. You never know.
No matter what you go, look at cruise lines. Things happen. Look at Carnival, and there's one port down there that's becoming very notorious for ships to be getting damaged down there because of the high wind.
Yeah. They didn't choose the correct port on that one.
I'm not saying
it is always windy there.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying bad. They just have to be careful because some of that was weather. That wasn't per se the captain or the ship itself. It was.
Let me ask you this question, Dave. Speaking of ports, okay, with what happened in Baltimore recently, okay, that delayed ships for a while. Well, so even on a ship, you got to be careful about that stuff too.
Or did it just stop the cargo, the cargo ships?
Baltimore is used as a port, I believe, for cruise ships, if I am correct.
Well, part of it looks like there's a lot of cargo ships there too. So
right, so
in Miami too. You can actually see that in Miami
port,
too.
really.
Right, Miami and New York are two big ports.
You look at that, you see all the ships coming in. You, like I said, the one that I watch is BLS on YouTube.
Right,
and if you watch it, the port is you can see the cargo ships, but it's the main port for that is a lot of the cruise ships.
Yep.
Except Disney, which is a little bit further up north near Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale, yes. They don't go through Miami that much. Very little.
No, I don't even. They don't even stop at Fort Miami. I don't think anymore.
Yes, they do. Oh wait, no, they don't.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They moved all theirs have been moved to the Port of Miami, or Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just when you think of vacations, I mean. And also, too, it is where you like to go as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, let me ask you this.
You
do a lot. You do a lot of traveling. I've done a lot of traveling in my life up and down the East Coast.
I've done some.
I have traveled to California. When you're planning a trip, what are some of the first things you actually think of, Richard?
Passport.
That too.
Yeah, that's the first thing I think. Okay. Where's my dang passport? Because I know I always need it. I always keep it with me, even if it is not going out of country. I keep that passport with me.
That's smart.
At all times.
See, which I don't. Now, for me, I have a driver's license. I always have my driver's license, so I don't need my passport unless I'm going on a cruise.
I keep the driver's license, but I also have the passport. I just like having that safety net.
So there you go.
It's a very good safety net.
That comes down to individual references and choice.
Yes.
Right. Because Mike, you do things that most people wouldn't do. You mentioned downstream that some things that you would do that most people wouldn't.
Yes, because
it's normal. It would be it's normal thinking for you.
Absolutely.
Out of normal thinking for most.
And I will say this, one of the big things for me is am I able to get around?
Yeah.
Plain and simple, because I will tell you, coming from the disabled person's point of view, traveling is not easy.
Well,
it really isn't.
No, it's not.
I know a city that Mike would not like to visit then.
I will tell you, airports, I will be honest with you, airports, I get very, I'm one of these people who's when I get to the airport, my complete distress level goes from a 1 all the way up to an 11 until I get to the destination. That's how bad I can get stressed.
I don't get stressed
at an airport.
Well, and I'll give you this.
I would take the train out of California. No
I used to. I got used to flying.
I know, but the problem
now,
is
I can back Mike up on this. When I first moved down here, we would I didn't get to go back to Michigan the first year I was down here. My parents did, but the second year we lived in Florida, we traveled. Well, we went through the TS, and you're talking about coming off of 9/11. So you know how tight the security was with TSA.
I will be honest with you.
And that wasn't.
Yeah. Can I ask you?
That's why I decided. Now here's the thing. That's why I decided to start traveling by car. But now the first thing I think about is how far do I want to drive? How far can I drive?
Yep.
And exactly where are going to be my stopping points? Of course, fortunately enough, I've done so much traveling up I-75. I know almost all ports of where I'm stopping at. Because I know every exit up and down 75 from Sault Ste. Marie down to just
Dave. I can say almost the same thing about flying across the U.S. from Seattle to New York. Which airports do I land in? Because I know I do not land in Chicago. I'm sorry, but Chicago Airport, it has so much wind. 80% of the time, you're going to get bad turbulence.
What about?
Here's the other thing. You talk about
there's other airports. Do not go through Minneapolis because that international airport. Oh no, stay away.
And see, that's the other thing you got to think about.
Let me ask you this question, Richard. Let me ask this question seriously. Have you considered going into the Newark Liberty International Airport or the Philadelphia International Airport? I know both those airports very well.
I do know Philadelphia really well.
Philadelphia is easy because
I flew to Philadelphia. I didn't go through LaGuardia at all. I went through to Philadelphia and then got a car and went up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw another question at you, Richard.
Sure. Oh,
because
can I?
Dave,
another one.
Going on.
Real quick, Dave. The Orlando is really starting to drive people crazy.
Nuts.
Hold on to that, Mike.
Okay, hold on to that.
Let me ask a question because it has to do with the Orlando airport.
Thank you.
I was going to ask that on the Orlando airport. So
Orlando, I love it coming in.
I love it, but here's the funny and weird thing.
Go ahead.
Orlando Airport is the only airport that Disney is allowed to go through to pick you up, to get to your resort for free.
Yep.
If you go through any other airport, you have to take an Uber or Lyft. Minibus on some of them. Yes, minibus does go out to some of the other airports.
Now let me ask you this, Richard. Now let me throw a little twist on this question. Because that airport's been growing. It's going to statically. The Bright Line eventually is going to connect to that airport down the road. I don't know if it has now, but that
it will.
That's coming.
It will.
My sisters, with everything that's gone in my family, my two sisters have been flying quite a bit up and down here over the last year and a half.
Right.
They do not. Their opinion is of mine, and I won't hold off on my opinion. But I want to ask. Barring, let's say Disney took that away of them going through. I know hopefully
they only Orlando. They could.
We never know what Disney's going to do. You just don't.
Exactly.
But if they so I'm throwing a theoretical type of question at you. Okay. Would you fly into Orlando knowing, one, the traffic is nuts in that place? Two, as far as I'm concerned, their signs are not as clear. Trying to get into that airport to pick somebody up.
No. It's fun to try to watch people trying to figure it out, really.
So, but 15, you got 30 minutes away, you got Sanford Airport.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this.
Sure.
If they had taken that away, if Disney takes that away, would you still fly into Orlando knowing how crazy it is? The directions getting into the airport or not.
If the Bright Line is going there, then yes, because it'll take 15 to 17 minutes.
Unless the Brightline is going with the Disney.
No.
Otherwise, no.
Guess what?
I know.
Here's the funny thing. Yes, they're not going to Disney. They are going to Universal. We know that.
Really?
But at every single station that Brightline stops at, they're going to have some kind of rental car, or you can get an Uber that will take 5 minutes to get from there to Disney World.
Right.
Roughly.
So you're saying you would fly in as long as
Brightline is still there?
Right.
Sure. So if the Brightline's still there,
I just want to make sure I'm understanding. So if Brightline decided not to do that, would you find somewhere else to fly in?
Yeah, I would find somewhere else. But I was researching.
I've heard that
every single stop is going to have either a rental car place or a really good place for either the bus or some kind of pickup place. So
because
it's thought out. It's thought out really well. Put it that way.
Right.
So
being able to go 200 miles an hour. Yes, you can't do that on the highway.
Don't
get me wrong. I've seen some people in Orlando do it, but
So here we're talking. See, that's different views on everything from where we're talking about what a vacation is. And hopefully you guys are taking some pointers in the chat.
Now,
when you are planning on it, these are things you have to think about. How fast you want to get there. How do you want to travel? How many are traveling with you?
Disney World might not be on the list, but another option is if you're thinking you're not going to Disney World, but going on to the cruise line, Port Canaveral has a stop that's going to be made for the Brightline. That changes a lot, I'm thinking.
I would now see for me, if that's the case.
We don't know how long it's going to take to do that, but if you're going 200 miles an hour, yes, you're going a lot faster than a regular car can at 60 miles an hour.
Well, and here's the other thing you want to think about too. Because I-4 dead ends into Daytona, which Port Canaveral is just south of that.
It's the south. They're saying that there should be a split. They said there should be a split right at the turn.
Here's the two things that I would tell you to recommend.
Yeah.
Either you fly down to or Miami or Fort Lauderdale where you can pick up the Brightline, or I would tell you take a smaller plane company, which would be Blue Jet, some of them, and fly into Sanford. Which then at Sanford, because you're only maybe 25 minutes from Daytona.
Yeah.
And rent a car at Sanford and then drive over to Port Canaveral.
Yep.
That's the other. Those would be the two things I would recommend as far as,
I understand.
If you wanted to avoid Orlando, because honestly, the last time you're talking about driving into the airport, dropping my sisters off or picking them up, I was ready to pull. Listen, you see what hair I had? I didn't have no hair because I'd be pulling it out from going just to drop them, take them up at Orlando Airport.
You know, it's interesting because when I went to Disney last, just going from the bus to the gate and not having enough time, it's it's really getting to the point.
It's the same.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but it's the same exact thing with Disneyland and Disney World. LAX.
Everybody hates LAX.
LAX is where everyone goes. Now
everybody goes to the other airport.
Now, let me ask you this, guy. Let me ask you this.
LAX is too bad.
Which one? Because I know LAX. You got John Wayne
that everybody goes to.
What airport would you recommend landing if you're trying to get to
John Wayne?
Thank you. That's the one. That's the one.
John Wayne Airport. I think they changed the name of it this last year, but
that's the
John
one.
Wayne
Yeah,
Airport.
I think they did change it.
Yeah, but John Wayne is so new, so clean. There's nothing wrong with it. The bathrooms are really super nice.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. And it has all of the cars that taxis. They has the Alamo Rent-A-Car Center there.
Yeah,
it's really good. So.
Sounds like the Gainesville Regional Airport, except that Gainesville is small. That's my sister's. That's where I pick them up now and drop them off because it's easier for them to get a smaller flight.
It's so easy to walk around John Wayne. I never see that many people. Yes, you're going to get clumps here and there, but you won't find that many people on it. They move quick. Yeah.
So there's things you guys when you are thinking about whatever your plans are for a vacation, whatever your vacation desires are, whether it's an adventure,
the vacation,
whether it's an adventure or whether it's an exotic or whether it's a cruise for a family or adults or mental stress release for the whole family.
Yeah.
These are things you have to think about when you're planning on a vacation. These are, because it's all different for everybody. The travel situations are different for everybody.
Absolutely.
Everybody's thinking is different.
Yep.
So, obviously, I will tell you this. The biggest thing about planning a vacation is this. Be ready you can plan the best itinerary, but have some flexibility in it because you don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely, because I remember when I was in the D.C., we wanted to go to this one place, but it didn't work out. So we decided to go and do all of the memorials, and that was fun. I enjoyed
memorials are fun. I like them.
Oh,
been there
by the way, speaking of that, the day that we did that, there was a beaver inside the pool eating with the cherry trees. And then when we went back to our the hotel, we turned on the news and it was on the news and I'm like, what? And so I was like, were we on the news because we were over there? Nope. But that's okay though. But that still was kind of fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and I still think about it all the time.
Speaking of which, guys, we'll be back in 2 and 2. So if you need a drink to get something and take a drink, we'll be back 2 and 2. Commercial break.
This is the Cantrell Country Travelway. I'm the agent and owner, David Cantrell. If you're looking to travel through the U.S. national parks or maybe to the waterways from beaches to ocean cruises, let the Cantrell Country Travelway help you find your magical vacation.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. So if you are looking to travel, guys, the links are in the description of this video. Please make sure you go check it out.
Absolutely.
Because we are working on some things. Eventually, I'm hoping in a month, you guys will start be able to see some deals coming on a website.
Yep.
If everything works out,
Okay.
we should have a website that I can link everything to the thing. So
that'll be
anyway,
nice.
Yep.
I don't know. So, any other thoughts on vacation?
No, we went through a lot of it on what kind of vacation you would want to have.
Yeah.
Can't really think of anything else.
I can. Make sure that you have enough money for souvenirs.
Oh, well.
Like this that I'm wearing right now. My Toy Story Land.
I do love myself some souvenirs.
I do.
Hey, let me give you my opinion on that. Anyway, back to the show.
There is people out there, Mike, that do not like to buy souvenirs.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, if you are someone who does.
Okay.
I will say this. Think about I will tell you one smart thing.
Sure.
And here's something when you are thinking financials. So Mike actually did bring up, I'm not thinking souvenirs, but I am thinking that when you are traveling,
meals too.
Think about this way, guys. Make sure you got money in the bank.
Yeah.
Make sure you got, I will say, keep so much money on hand.
Yes.
Cash wise. Divide it up. Be smart about it. And I would think if you can pay off your, wherever you're staying, make sure you try to pay that off prior to.
Yes.
I mean, absolutely. When you're dealing with cruises, you have to have that all paid off and all that.
Yes.
But resorts, even with Disney, most of the time that's paid off before you even come. It used to be you didn't have to, but most now when you definitely.
Most people want to get it done.
You either book. The thing with the resorts is you either book with a travel agent or you book directly through Disney. And you pretty much have to have the rooms paid off for on however nights you're doing. Gene, good to see you, buddy. Always good to see you. But we do want to make sure that you guys, and I'm just going to bring up the one thing here. Don't forget the rest of the week, guys. Continuing, make sure Thursday we had the Travelway Traveling Adventures, and we will have a special guest. Hopefully, Richard and Mike can join us on Thursday. We will have Mama D on. We will have Mama D. She's going to help us finish up Fort Lauderdale.
Good. Can't wait.
So, and then Saturday, don't forget, 4:00. I have not heard back from them. I have to reach out to them again.
Okay.
I'm actually hoping for the big show we can get Nick and Claire, Mike and Stacy.
Yeah.
Maybe get a hold of Pete.
She may not be.
Yes. Pete needs to be here.
Yeah, Pete needs to call in and get a video in here for a little
if
bit.
he can. I don't know if he's busy or anything.
Or at least have him call you. Because that's always so funny. I'm sorry.
It is.
It is.
The thing about it is he does so many streams.
Yes, he does.
And right now his son's playing. His son is
his NHL's gonna
in high school.
Right, because now it's the playoffs. So
it's not the playoffs. His son's still playing games.
Right.
His son's still playing, so that'll be baseball still for him.
Right.
I mean, for us in Florida, our baseball teams are almost winding up. But for high schools up north and in New England, where you guys got a longer winter, most of your teams will play into May.
Darn. I knew it was too good to be true.
There you go, Debbie. Yeah, there you go, Dave. Yeah.
There you go. Then now I'll have someone to help me keep you two in line on Thursday.
Oh boy.
Nah, it'll be fun. I love having Debbie on. She's
absolutely. She's a wonderful lady.
She sure is.
Okay.
And I do want to say prayers out to Dean. I know he's got some things going on, so
yeah.
I do want to say I'm sending you some prayers, Dean.
Yep.
Because I do know I'm aware of some things, and definitely want to send Dean some prayers, and glad to see you back in the chats more often, buddy.
Yep, it's good.
So, Richard, what do you got? Obviously, we know you got all your vacation. Are you doing any other videos?
Alani videos are popping up all the way to the 31st of this month, or
wonderful.
Last day of this month. There'll be one every day. That'll be fantastic to see. Also on the 28th, which is next Sunday.
Yes, which is Sunday.
We're going to be talking about one of the fantastic restaurants that is at Alani.
What time are you guys doing that?
Its name is Ulu, the Ulu Cafe. So,
Turtle
Cafe.
What time are you guys doing that on Sunday, on the 28th?
7
Eastern Standard Time. No, 8 Eastern Standard Time. 8.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I had to change it for 1 hour later.
Okay.
Yeah.
8 Eastern?
Okay.
Yeah, 8 Eastern.
All right.
Okay, that works because of the fact that good.
Yep, because we were trying to plan around some things, so we were considering.
One thing specifically.
Yep.
And everybody knows what it is.
Yep.
The Triple C Show.
Yeah.
Which is a fabulous show, by the way.
Yep. Anyway, so make sure you guys go check out Mike and Richard on the Parker Show on the 28th.
Yep.
Make sure you check out my partner channel, Richard Bloomin' Cheese, on his videos. They are really good from Alani.
Yes.
Yep.
Hopefully by then I'll have a good camera and I can go, haha, you're not the only one, Richard.
Yeah.
But no, because I will tell you this. It seems to me, and you can confirm or say yes or no. It don't matter how many times you get there. There's always new pictures and videos that you can take of Hawaii, and it'll never be the same.
Yep, that's true.
As anyone, I mean, it just depends on what you're doing and what your activities are planned.
What your activities are, what you want to do during the day. My sister, she went on the lazy river during the 4 days like 18 times. So that was her thing. She loved that lazy river. It was her new home.
I love the lazy river. Believe me, that's relaxing.
Yep, yeah, exactly. The whole time. Now I was walking around
with one hand and relaxing in the lazy river.
Yeah, exactly. And then I
wouldn't be able to do it. I would not be able to do it.
Yeah. There's
pools. What were you doing when she was doing that, Richard? What were you doing? Obviously, you were.
I was walking around making videos. I made a video for Pete. I did a 4K video walk around of Alani.
Nice.
You will be able to push that out really soon. I'm not going to say the exact date, so go look at his channel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
And you will get the credit for it because I do know that.
And then I made a bunch of videos for myself. So
yes,
that's awesome. That's awesome. So again, I've I already done mine, guys. Make sure next show Thursday 7 p.m.
Yep. We're going to be talking about.
You better get going, Dean. You got a show in a half an hour. I have to go eat dinner and then go back to bed. 4:30 in the morning comes early when I have to get to work.
Of course.
What will be the topic on Thursday, Dave?
The what?
Topic on Thursday.
Fort Lauderdale. We're going to finish up Fort Lauderdale.
The last one for Fort Lauderdale then? Okay.
Yep. The last one for Fort Lauderdale. That's why Debbie's going to come on, and she's going to help us finish up Fort Lauderdale on Thursday.
Okay.
Good.
And then Saturday, hopefully I'll hear from Nick and Claire and Stacy and Mike. Sheree may come on. If they do come on, she may come on when she finds out. But I know she's been extremely tired on Saturday, so she's taking her front down to every other day. So I hope she does get some rest.
She's just tired. It's fine.
It's
her work.
You know what? We all had to listen. Yeah. I had to take a break last week. I was extremely physically tired. So it happens to all of us. You know, you get to the point somewhere where we all had to stop and say, I need to go do some training here on some things.
Of course.
But anyways, guys, with that, I'm going to say what I always I'm going to tell you what my Logan is. Don't forget to come check out my travel agent profile page and my Facebook travel page. Under the Cantrell Country Travelway. Go to the Travel Leaders Profile Agent thing. Both links are in the description box.
Yep.
You can find them there. Reach out to me if you're wanting to plan a trip, or if you listen. And here's the thing: if you have a trip that you got planned out that you want, then let me help you reach out and make it easier for you to book and plan the trips, or make the reservations that you need, and because you can either bring an itinerary to me, or I can help you create one. But let the Cantrell Country Travelway help you find that magical vacation. Have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.